Welcome, fourth year students, to Linguistics I. This video deals with the syllabus of the course, and at the end of this video, I will deal with a particular section which is methodology. Methodology this year will be particular given the circumstances we find ourselves in. The syllabus of the course, here's a copy, hard copy, can be found on Facultad de Lenguas webpage. Make sure you carefully read it. And it's essential to read the syllabus because you find answers to most of your questions about the course. For instance, what am I going to be evaluated on? How am I going to be evaluated on? What's the obligatory bibliography? Can I consult other bibliography? So all these questions can be answered by reading the syllabus. Please do so. The first section of the syllabus is the justification for including a course like Linguistics I in fourth year and in your course of studies. Linguistics I is a course that offers an introduction to the science, and it offers you an overview of schools within linguistics that have offered theoretical developments about what language is and how it can be studied. The next section in the syllabus, I have my copy here, is general objectives. Some of them are the following. For instance, to independently reflect on the nature of language and the complexity that human language involves. Another one that you can read in the syllabus is the objective that deals with the fact that this is a course that is taught in fourth year because we take for granted that theoretical content offered in previous courses or courses that you have taken in second and in the third year have already been acquired. Some of the specific objectives include to distinguish between different levels of analysis. This year you will learn about what a system is and how come language can be conceptualized or thought about in terms of a system with subsystems. The next important information you find in any syllabus is content. The content of this course is organized into 3 different units. Units have names, and they are there for many reasons. Pay attention to the names of the units and ask yourselves, why am I studying this in Unit 1? How come I'm studying about the relationship between language and thought in Unit 1 and not in Unit 3? How come I'm studying generative syntax in Unit 2, which has the name Language as a System of Systems, and not in Unit 3, which is called the pragmatic perspective? How come deixis is a pragmatic phenomenon? How come conversation and implicatures are a pragmatic phenomenon? And how come they are not purely linguistic? These are questions you need to answer to yourselves as we progress with the content. Another important information you find in the syllabus is the way you will be evaluated. There are different requirements for regulares and for libres. Take a look at the syllabus, take a look at that section, and I'm sure you can answer all your questions about that. Syllabuses are important because they also reveal how you're going to be evaluated. You find that in the section criteria for evaluation. As you will be professional teachers, translators, and licenciadas, the first most important criterion is your use of the foreign language. That's why you find linguistic competence as one of the criterion that is considered at the moment of evaluating term tests and final exams. Of course, another one includes content related to this course. That is, your ability to apply the concepts you study during the year to new cases. You should always aim at understanding concepts and developing abilities to apply the concepts you study. You also find a section that lists the texts that are included as the obligatory bibliography, and you have a list of texts that includes chapters and articles and chapter extracts for each unit. Make sure you know which the texts are. Now, a special section of this video deals with methodology. That is, how are we going to have these virtual sessions that we have during this special year. First of all, for each session you need to study the material beforehand. I repeat that. The material assigned for each virtual session needs to be read several times. It needs to be studied. Obviously, a technical area like linguistics demands effort, because learning demands effort. You only learn by reading and then applying the concepts, and then by establishing relationships between concepts and the theoretical approaches from which they derive. My suggestion is that you read at least 3 times each text, or as many times as you can, so that the first reading gives you a general overview of the content. In the second reading, you can start distinguishing between main ideas from supporting ideas, or the main argument of an author and then the supporting arguments the author offers. Sometimes you also find explanations of technical terms which denote concepts, and then examples. As you continue reading the same text, then you will be able to arrive at the most important part of your learning, and that's when you start asking the right questions. Whenever you approach a text that is included in the bibliography, do so with a critical attitude. That is, the fact that something is published in written form doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate. It means actually that it's there to be challenged. I urge you to develop your thinking skills and your critical abilities to do that. Reading the material several times will allow you to ask the right questions, and we expect your questions. We expect to have doubts about what you read, and we will be there for you through these media. As we move on in the year, you will have, we will let you know the way we will be carrying out the activities and the tasks. But as I said before, there is no point in taking part in a virtual session unless you have studied the material. So make sure you do that. This is a particular year with these special circumstances we are in, and make sure you have contact information about your classmates. I'm sure you have your social media and there you can find information about what happened during a virtual session which you had to miss. The important thing is that this year you are required to work a little bit more on your own, because we will not have our face-to-face encounters, but we will make sure we can guide you during the process of learning. By the way, learning is an individual, creative process, and it requires effort. The same way you have learned to ride a bike only by riding a bike, the same way you learn about linguistics by first reading about linguistics and then applying the concepts that you find in the bibliography. I hope to see you in the next video.